About 10 months ago now, I made a video called Ranking Fast Food Restaurants, but just like many of my old videos, that one didn't age very well, and I'm not very proud of it. Considering the fact that you guys seem to really enjoy the Easter candy tier list, I figured we'd go ahead and do another ranking of all of these fast food restaurants. Now, as you can see, the never had category, it's, there's quite a couple down here, however, as you can see, I'm not missing out on, like, really any big important ones, like, I've had McDonald's, I've had Burger King, I've had KFC, I've had Little Caesars, it's just more, like, niche stuff in here, or things that are relegated to certain states. The one that surprises me the most out of all of these is Panda Express, just due to, obvious reasons. Legally, I don't think I'm allowed to eat at Jimmy John's since I worked at Subway for so long. And then otherwise, most of these are just like Mexican ripoff restaurants that aren't even Mexican. So with that being said, first up we got Dairy Queen. This is gonna go straight into the F tier, and anybody that knows me knows why this is going into the F tier. I am severely allergic to dairy, so when there's a restaurant with the name dairy in the title, I'm sorry, but you're immediately going to the F tier regardless of how good your food is. Now see, when I think about fast food restaurants, I don't just think about how the food is, how the food tastes, I also think about how it makes me feel afterwards, which kind of makes me want to put McDonald's in like a B. However, most of their food does taste pretty good, so I like, I want to put it in an A. However, I do also got to remember that at the time that I was eating at McDonald's, I didn't realize how bad my allergy to dairy actually was. And anytime that I was eating food that I thought didn't have dairy in it, it usually actually did. Like, for example, I don't know how many of you know this, but their fries actually have dairy in them, which is quite surprising because most places don't have dairy in their fries, but for some reason McDonald's does, and I never knew that, so I was sitting there munching on like a large fry, and then I'd go home and grip my stomach. I don't know, like there's a part of me that honestly like kind of wants to put McDonald's in an S just due to nostalgia. However, there's been a couple of times where I've gotten some cold fries or their chicken nuggets weren't exactly tasting right, so just for those few off occurrences, I'm gonna put it in an A. However, when their fries are hitting, the nuggets are fresh, and the burgers are straight off the grill, it's S tier material. I'll give it that. It is pretty good. Now keep in mind, I also haven't eaten out in literally years. The last time that I ate out was in 2020. Since 2020, all of my meals have been home cooked. Like, I cook my own food, I make my own food. I literally haven't eaten out in like 3 years now. So with that in mind, some of these restaurants may or may not have like changed the recipe since, and some of them may be worse or better than they were in 2020. Next up we got Culver's. I'm gonna throw this in a B. I mean, the place is okay, but I worked there, and let me just tell you, working there is not fun. I mean, that kind of goes for any fast food restaurant, just like, I don't know, working in fast food is honestly a miserable experience. The only one that I actually liked was like Subway, and McDonald's, I liked it sometimes. Like, I like the hustle, and usually, now keep in mind, when I worked at McDonald's, I was like, oh god, 14 years old. So I had a lot of energy back then, and there was a lot of times where they'd have me doing like the entirety of the grill part of the kitchen alone whenever it was like lunch rush on a Sunday. I remember back when there was like this one kids movie coming out, right? Because we worked, the McDonald's that I was at, it was right next to a movie theater, so anytime that a new movie was coming out, McDonald's would get absolutely slammed, especially in the evenings on like Friday nights, and they just had me working the grill alone. I didn't mind, like I was actually able to keep up with the order surprisingly, even though I was working alone, but let me tell you, that was one heck of a working experience. And then when it came to Culver's, I just, I don't know, I didn't have a lot of fun working there. I didn't feel very welcome when I was working there. The working environment itself, it was just, yeah. And same thing with McDonald's, like, a lot of the people there were cool for the most part, but I don't know, it's just like the working environment itself, like, you don't want to be working fast food. Anyway, next up we got Burger King. This is also probably, you know what, there's a part of me that wants to put this in the S. However, I have had some tummy trouble after eating at Burger King before, and that does factor into my ranking, so I'm gonna put it in an A. And there was a few times where I've gotten some cold and, I don't know, oddly salted fries from them, so considering that, considering some of those off times, I'm gonna put it in an A. S tier material has to be a restaurant where it's like always consistent, like the food is always good, it's always hitting. And by that criteria, I think I gotta put Firehouse Subs in an S. I mean, it's subs. You can't mess up a sub, especially if it's a cold sub. There's literally no way to mess that up. Firehouse Subs, it always hits. Taco Bell, you're gonna go into an A tier, my friend. I love you, you taste amazing, but good lord, you hurt my stomach to an unhealthy degree. Is this logo, have they changed their logo? What is this monstrosity? Why did they change their logo? The old one looks so much better. This is the one that I grew up with. This is the one that I know. Why do these companies do this? This is so lifeless. The font sucks. The colors suck. Look at the old one. It's so much better. Anyway, we got White Castle. I'm gonna put this into the S tier. Honestly, I've never eaten at White Castle. However, I frequently eat the burgers from the freezer section, and I don't care if it's not directly from White Castle. It's White Castle brand, so that counts, and I eat those like literally at least once a week. I love those burgers. They are amazing. That being said, that's gonna go in the S tier. A&W, I've never had A&W food. However, I've had A&W root beer, and that is one of my favorite root beers, period. So that's gonna go into the S tier off of the root beer alone. Is it possibly wrong for me to put it in the S tier just due to canned root beer that I've had? Yeah. Do I care? No. Arby's, I really want to put this in the S tier. I love their fries. I love their food. You know what? I'm gonna leave it in the S tier. It is absolutely amazing, and I've never had any times where I've eaten at Arby's and felt like crap afterwards. There was like this one time where I ate something that I didn't know had dairy in it, and then I felt a little crappy afterwards. And then there was this one time when I was a little kid and I was like, I can eat anything and everything, and then I tried to do that and I really didn't feel so good. I managed to keep it all down, which is surprising because I ate enough to feed a family of 4. But I'll leave it in the S tier. I thoroughly enjoy Arby's, and it's one of those places again where I can go there and I can eat, and I know I'll feel at least like somewhat decent afterwards. Carl's Jr., don't even play with me. This is gonna go straight into the S tier. There's been a few times I've went there and their fries or their chicken were a little too greasy for my liking, but that's whatever. That's what napkins are for. You just dab up the grease and then you can eat it. But man, Carl's Jr., well, from where I'm from, it's actually called Hardee's. But now where I live, now down here, it's called Carl's Jr. I don't know. I miss how it was back home. Like, Hardee's has such a better name than Carl's Jr. But their food is absolutely amazing. Top notch. And another place with amazing food, Chick-fil-A. This one's also going to go straight into the S tier. Honestly, I'm going to put Chick-fil-A at the top of the S tier. I think when it comes to fast food establishments, Chick-fil-A may just be my favorite. I remember me and a buddy of mine back in like, I don't even know at this point, 5th, 6th grade, something like that. Me and him used to love Chick-fil-A. There was a couple of times where he'd be home alone and then like me and my mom were going to Chick-fil-A, and then me and him would be texting and he'd be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, I'm at Chick-fil-A, and then he'd be like, hey, could you bring me some food? And then me and my mom literally like drove to his house, took him like a whole box of chicken nuggets and some waffle fries and stuff. But while I'm talking about that, friend, let me go ahead and rank IHOP, because this was like one of our go-to spots as well. It was Chick-fil-A and IHOP. I can't even tell you how many times we went to IHOP. We go there and get like the all-you-can-eat pancakes. I'm not gonna say his name for privacy reasons, but after I upload this video, I'm gonna be sending him a link. So, you know, if you're watching this right now, man, I miss you. You should definitely hit me up sometime. We haven't talked since like 6th grade. Like, we've talked on and off, but you know, we definitely were never as close as we were in 6th grade, and we never got to talk as much. So, you know, definitely hit me up if you ever get the chance, man. I miss hearing from you. Chipotle, gonna go into the S tier. Look, if you have tummy troubles after Chipotle, that's your fault for having a lack of knowledge on nutrition and foods and such, and getting the wrong things on your Chipotle burritos and bowls, okay? For me personally, I've never had such troubles at Chipotle, but that's also because, you know, I'm a bit of a calorie freak, I'm a bit of a nutrition freak, so I kind of just like know what I'm gonna be putting onto my food before I go in anyway, because I would have already like kind of tracked my calories for it beforehand, and I just know what works with me and my digestive system. That's one thing to know about me. My digestive system is absolutely terrible. There's just a lot of foods that I really can't eat just because they mess me up so much. Like, for example, I can't eat eggs, just like straight up eggs. However, I'm fine with things that have eggs in it. So like, I can eat like all the mayo or, you know, those special kinds of honey mustard that have egg in it, like no problem, or Chick-fil-A sauce because that also has egg in it. But like, when it comes to actual eggs, it doesn't sit well with me for some reason. Anyways, Denny's, oh gosh, oh no, 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 oh gosh, I just got so many flashbacks when I looked at this logo. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the S tier. I do thoroughly enjoy Denny's food, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of just like a sucker for those places that are like based around breakfast, but I have some memories tied to this place with a very specific person from my past, and unfortunately I cannot go into any more detail than that. I will not be sending this video to them. I don't think they even know I'm a YouTuber, but oh my gosh, Denny's, wow, not even my closest friends know, so I should probably cut this out of the video, but I'm gonna leave it into the video just so you guys can soak up the awkward vibes with me. But oh gosh, that's a story that the world should never know. Domino's is all. Why am I putting so many in the S tier? I can't help it, okay? When it comes to food, like, I don't know, there's very few things that I don't like. The only things that I don't like are things that my body physically can't handle to digest properly, but Domino's, again, even though, you know, it's pizza, it's dairy, and if I try to eat it now, it would mess me up, you know. The food itself, it tastes amazing. I love Domino's pizza. There's something about it. If it wasn't for my dairy allergy, I could easily pound like 5 of those pizzas back to back to back. Okay, maybe not 5, but at least like 2 small ones. Five Guys, it has to go in the S tier, right? I mean, with how many fries they give you for free, I mean, when you get a small fry at Five Guys, that's the equivalent of like an extra large at McDonald's, which literally doesn't even exist. Five Guys absolutely spoils you with the fries, and their food is amazing. It sucks that, you know what, it's a little overpriced, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, sure, the fries kind of make up for it in a way, but but not really. Their food is really overpriced. A burger, fries, and soda is gonna run you like 20 bucks for one person. So for the price, I'm gonna have to leave it in an A. However, if you're rich, I could definitely see it going into an S. Go ahead and rank some other basic ones right now. We got Long John Silver's. I'm gonna put it in a B. You know, it's a good, oh man, you know, I really like their Hush Puppies. Just for the Hush Puppies alone, that's gonna go into an A. Moe's Southwest Grill, you know, that's gonna go into an A. It's a good spot. However, I haven't eaten there enough times or had enough of their food to actually put it in an S. I've only eaten there like once before. Panera Bread. That's also going to go in an A, maybe a B, just because of how many carbs their food has. I remember one time I ate there and I literally just couldn't even finish my meal. There were so many carbs. Papa John's is going to go into an S tier. Look, I'm not going to go too deep into this story, but my mom, she used to have a really hot friend that worked at Papa John's. And occasionally I'd go there, you know, I'd be like skating around, because I used to be like an emo skater kid, so I'd be skating around with my friends on my skateboard, you know, we go to the other side of town, and we'd always pass that at Papa John's, and I'd like shoot my mom's friend a text, I'd be like, hey, do you think you could like hook me up with a pizza or something, and she'd hook me up with it for free. A lot of great memories. Little Caesars, another pizza joint I have so much nostalgia for. I'm gonna put this into an S tier, okay? Back in the day, I was always relatively poor, and you know, Little Caesars is one of the spots you can go to, you get like a meal for your whole family for relatively cheap. It's like $5 for a hot and ready pizza, right? So on Friday nights, you know, my mom had like 2 jobs back in the day, and she'd always end up working on Friday nights, and she wouldn't have enough time to come home and cook dinner. So she'd go to Little Caesars before she came home from her first job, because she'd work like 2 different jobs in the same day. So I'd get home from school, I'd be home alone for a bit, and then like an hour or 2 later, my mom would come home from her first job, and she'd always have like a Little Caesars pizza on hand, and she'd always get back around like 4:45 to 5 o'clock, so it was already dinner time by that point. So she'd set the pizza down, get me and my brother fed, and then she'd head off to work, and it was a little tradition we had, and I don't know, I never got sick of Little Caesars pizza. We'd always have like leftovers, because occasionally, you know, she'd get 2 pizzas. So on the times when she got a second pizza, usually she did that whenever there was like deals or sales going on at Little Caesars, then, you know, we just throw the other one in the fridge. There we go, I have my lunch and dinner for the weekend. Next up, we got Popeyes. This is gonna go into the A tier for the biscuits alone. I really want to put it into the S tier, but I've had a few times where I've eaten there and I haven't felt the greatest afterwards, and I don't know, there's just a lot of salt in their food, man. I felt genuinely dehydrated by the time I finished my meal there. Like I've only ate there like 2 or 3 times, and yeah, I was reaching for that drink more often than I would like to admit. With that being said, that one's gonna go into the A tier. Sheetz gonna go into the A tier. The food isn't bad, but I haven't eaten enough of it to actually put in the S. I've only eaten there like 1 time, but it was pretty good. Unfortunately, where I live now, we don't actually have Sheetz. When I used to live up north in Pennsylvania, obviously Sheetz was up there, and it was one of my favorite gas station spots to go to, but down here in Florida, they do not have a Sheetz. Sonic, I've also only eaten there like twice. However, each time I felt a little, you know, not so good after. So I'll put it in A because the food tastes good, but it doesn't leave me feeling the best. Steak and Shake, probably gonna put it into, you know, I've never had any problems with this place, so I'll put it in an S. Their food's really good. It's reasonably priced. It leaves me feeling pretty good afterwards. So, you know, I think it's deserving of an S. I genuinely enjoy Steak and Shake, and they have like that one barbecue burger or something. That was one of my favorites there. Zaxby's gonna go into the S tier. Honestly, I can't say I like Zaxby's more than Chick-fil-A, but like it's right up there. It's a really good joint, and the Zaxby sauce, ooh, I could literally just drink a bottle of Zaxby sauce. Subway gonna go into an S. I'm a health freak, and I like how many options you have at Subway, you know, kind of cut back on calories, customize your sandwich to your liking, you know, it's like, it's real nutrition friendly. You can either get the unhealthiest food at Subway or the healthiest. Just depends on you and the options and choices that you're making to go into your sandwich, how many condiments you use, etc. Waffle House, gonna put it in the S tier. You know, the food is pretty good. However, the main reason is just the fact that, you know, on various road trips that I've been on, Waffle House has saved me many times when it's like 3 in the morning and no other joint is open. Wendy's, straight into the S tier. Amazing food, leaves me feeling good, and honestly, even though I don't like eating out nowadays, if somebody offered me Wendy's, I would take it. I love Wendy's. Pizza Hut's gonna go into the A tier. Their food is a little too greasy for my liking. Every time that I've eaten there, I've never felt good off a Pizza Hut, if I'm gonna be honest. The one thing I do like is their fries, but even their fries left me feeling really crappy afterwards, so I don't know, maybe I gotta drop it into a B. Like, I love their food and I love how it tastes, I hate how it makes me feel. KFC gonna go into the A tier. Oh man, I can't remember what they're called, but they had like these, I think they were called like Chicken Littles or something like that, but they looked like almost like mini subs or mini like wide sandwiches or whatever. They had like chicken and pickles and stuff like that on it. Maybe there wasn't pickles, maybe there was, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've had it, but I used to like that little thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The little Chicken Littles. There was like 2 of them, and then it came with like some fries. Next up, we got Boston Market. I've never actually eaten at Boston Market. I've only had their food from the freezer aisle. I had some sort of like beef pot roast, but for what I had, if that's what it's like in the freezer aisle, I can only imagine forget how good their food actually is in person. So I'm just gonna put that straight into the S tier. I think it deserves it. And Checkers, again, gonna go into the S tier. Even though I've never had their food, I have had the freezer aisle fries, and oh my gosh, let me tell you, those things are delicious. Honestly, KFC, man, I really want to put it in an S tier. However, I have had a few times where the food makes me feel a little, just like, you know, not too good, give me the rumbly tummies. So, you know what, it belongs in the A. I'll leave it in the A. Anyway, this is my ranking of most of the fast food restaurants in existence. Now, I definitely want to hear from you guys. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you rank these any differently? Whatever you're thinking, I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put Wendy's, like, even higher in the rankings. Like, these aren't actually individually ranked within the tiers, but I just need to make it known, like, how much I love Wendy's. Like, it deserves the S tier. The Frosties, the burgers, the fries, oh my gosh, it is so good. Anyway, as always, a shout out to the patrons and channel members, Karma's Fagram, a little bit of tab, Beats Data, Matty, Chalupasaurus Rex, Razak, Polar, Raider, Webster, Lamas, Miakas, Purgatory, Dripper Sound, Mellow, Last King, Kuna, Imagine Me, Sinner, Vintage, Y15, Flim, Saving 1, Aaron Reynolds, and Unknown. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. And remember, don't go hollow. Peace.